We lift the rest up for healing, Father. As a great physician, we ask you to touch each one of these and heal them. Father, we ask for wisdom and knowledge and guidance today as we do the business for the Maryland State Fire Association. We ask for those in presence to be knowledgeable and bring their information forward. Father, we ask this all in your Son's name. Amen. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, let it call First Vice President Charlie Simpson for his welcoming remarks, and then we need a representative of Ridge to follow up after the Vice President.
Good morning, all. I'm supposed to be here representing Skip Carey, so I'll put a hat on for him.
Don't fall down.
And you got his shirt, so we're in good shape. Welcome all. It's good to see a good turnout today. And thank you, Ridge, for finally getting the weather really agreeable out there. A little cool, but we're going to try to warm things up today if we can. So it's a real pleasure to see everyone here. From Ridge, is Ron Hafner here? Yep. There he is. Okay. And Debbie Fairfax from the Ladies Auxiliary? Or represent?
She's hiding in the kitchen.
Ah, in the kitchen. All right. So I tell you, if you stayed up there at the hotel suite, what is it, the Country Suites or whatever we stayed at, they did a great reception last night. The Southern Maryland Fire Association had a great reception, great time. Thanks, Johnny and Becky and all for putting all that together and making everybody feel so welcome. We all had the issues the past week trying to wonder what was going to happen snow-wise and all, but it's cleared up. It's turned out really nice for us, so good to see a good turnout. Okay, Ron, Debbie, just a certificate of appreciation for the good time last night, and
Thank you.
and the
Thank you.
yep, from the Southern Association. I'll let you go ahead and handle that too.
Okay.
So thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Unless you have something to say.
Just wanted to say that welcome to our little piece of the world down here. So it's glad the weather did clear up a little bit for you. So a couple days ago we had some snow and probably would have deferred some people from coming down here. So with that, welcome and have a good time.
And we have plenty of pancakes, so grab your plate and come back and get some more. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Okay, Second Vice President Bill for his recognition of the officers and guests.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let's start with the officers. We have First Vice President Charlie Simpson.
Thank you, Mr. Second Vice President.
Myself, as Second Vice President, Secretary Doyle Cox, Assistant Secretary Gene Aaron, Assistant Secretary Richard Coons, Treasurer Mr. Bobby Jacobs, Financial Secretary Mitch Vogt, Assistant Financial Secretary Bobby Aaron, Chief Chaplain John Long, Chaplain Sam Mann, Parliamentarian Chair Richard Brooks, Parliamentarian Harv Woods, Executive Director Kate Lovelace, and Executive Assistant Lynn Hawkins. Executive Committee, we have Chairman Roger Steger.
Thank you.
Vice Chairman Malcolm Faust.
Thank you.
Committee Member Steve Cox.
Thank you.
Committee Member Tim Dayton. Committee Member Glendale Fishhack. Sorry, brother, I missed that. Committee Member Mr. Chip Jewell. Committee Member Lee Lutz. Committee Member Mr. Bob Phillips. And Committee Member Mr. Buddy Sutton. Now, hopefully this one I don't mess up, Mr. Chairman, but I'm going to work on this president list. Past presidents, we have Mr. Bob Cumberland from 1987, 1988. We have Mr. Tom Mattingly from 1990 to 1991. We have Mr. Steve Cox, 1996, 1997. We have Mr. Roger Steger, 2000, 2001.
Thank you.
We have Mr. Bobby Jacobs, 2004, 2005. We have Mr. Bobby Bolton Jr., 2006, 2007. Mr. Frank Underwood, 2008, 2009. Mr. Doyle Cox, 2010, 2011. And that's it for all the past presidents. Trustees. We have Chairman Jeff Clements and Trustee Robbie Blackston. Partners in attendance. We have Acting Fire Marshal Jason Mowbray, Maryland Fire and Rescue Institute Director Mike Cox, from Shock Trauma Rebecca Gilmore, MSP Aviation Command Captain Jeff Thomas. Oh, I'm sorry. I read one that I wrote in so we could change that name. I'm sorry. Aviation Division, yes, First Sergeant Mann. I'm sorry, Mike Mann. DNR Forestry Service, Shannon Wolf. MDEM, Tim Schumann. And we have Miss Fire President Madeline Mann, even though you didn't sign in. And from the Ladies Auxiliary, we have President Sherry Steppen, Senior Vice President Joan Kramer, Junior Vice President Holly Trego, Financial Secretary Kay Trego, Chaplain Samantha Butterfield, and Guard Kim Shelton. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Ladies President, Sherry, will you introduce your officers, please? You already did? Okay, I weren't paying attention. I was writing.
We have Lori Devo, co-chair, Betsy Marshall. Sorry, did she not come up to you? No. Good to be here.
Thank you. Good to have you. Okay, we'll start with officers' reports. Second Vice President's up first, and then Charlie's up next.
Mr. Chairman, I don't have a whole lot to say. I sent it in on my report. Been doing a lot of traveling. I don't think I've missed a weekend yet that I ain't been in a banquet and got a free meal. And it's been. You didn't have to say that, Charlie. I didn't say nothing about you or nothing. He said it was noticeable, but I got this figured this way. But yeah, my palm tree is not swaying, Charlie. But anyway, it's been an honor and a privilege so far to serve this great organization. I also want to give a shout out. I'm part of the legislative committee, and we have a couple in attendance that nobody off. Mr. Dale Bowen in the back corner, he's trying to hide, but he's actually playing solitaire. And Mr. Bob Phillips as a executive committee member. There's a lot of things going on in Annapolis, a lot of funds trying to be cut and stuff. And they're working hard to try to keep that straight. There may be some bumps in the road, but we're trying. And that's about all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. First Vice President, Charlie.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The lot of things going on, and I'll go ahead and just touch base with one of the big things, and that's our president, Skip. Skip is making some improvements. Yes, he had, he's telling us it was diagnosed as a TIA, which is a trans-ischemic attack, for those that aren't EMS-related people here. But it's just generally like a stroke. It leaves some results like a stroke, but in most cases they do clear up in a certain time frame, and it depends in a lot of cases, a lot of issues, how long that takes and all. But he's doing well. He's doing a lot of therapy. In fact, he's doing 3 different types of therapy a day: physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy. So I guess the advantage is we don't have to deal with him while he's in all those therapies, just the therapist. But he is doing better, and he wants to wish everybody having a good and good successful weekend here. And unfortunately, he's sorry he couldn't be here with us to celebrate the Hawaiian shirt, Caribbean shirt day. Thanks definitely to all of the staff, all the members that have participated in that and in honoring that for him. So for myself, I've been kind of busy this past month, and since our last meeting, a lot of things happening, a lot of reports, meetings, and so on. But I think one of the big highlights of the past month has been the Congressional Fire Services Institute dinner in Washington, D.C. last week, and a special congratulations from the officers of this association to Teresa Crispin on receiving the Dr. Ann W. Phillips Award for Leadership in Fire Safety. Thought you'd get away with it, didn't you? Okay. But no, I mean, terrific that Maryland was recognized for that, and such a great leader we have in Maryland performing that service. So congratulations and great job, Teresa. Thank you very much for representing the MSFA, the Maryland Fire Chiefs, and all in what you do. A lot of things going on. My report's been filed electronically. I'd ask that you get a chance, go ahead and go on those reports to the executive committee and look at that information. We've got a lot of things that I'm looking forward to next year, working on putting together the committee lists, getting our directory ready. Hope to have that out in July. Our first transition meeting is planned the end of July, be the 26th, and I've kind of gotten Reese Volunteer Fire Department up in Carroll County to agree to host us for that. So if anybody's interested, we'll be getting the committee chairs and all the officers and so on, those that want to attend at that meeting, and go over our plans for the upcoming year. And one of the big highlights will be communications, and that's one of my big concerns, is making sure that we get particularly our young people, particularly those that are going to be succeeding us and moving forward with this association, up to date and participating in what we do and what it means to be able to advocate for the volunteer services in the state of Maryland. So my thanks to all for being here. Pleasure to be here, and we'll be talking more. Thank you.
Our Executive Director, Kate, you were one up on me there, see?
Always ready.
Yep, thank you. And her assistant, Lynn, thank you. I just sent her a text. Since she was so.
Good morning, everyone. Chairman Steger, member of the Executive Committee, officers and attendees, welcome. Good morning. My report has been electronically filed. I'm not going to go through it word for word because there's a few other things I'd like to touch on this morning. Obviously, there's been a lot of news swirling around federal workers, federal layoffs, federal funding, federal freezes, the whole gamut that's going on. So we wanted to make sure that we were doing the best that we could do for our association. So at CFSI last week, Ron had the opportunity to speak with a bunch of people on the federal level, trying to figure out where we were standing with FEMA and our SAFER grant. So as you know, we have a $2.3 million SAFER grant that we are hoping to wrap up this year. looking at our reimbursement schedule through December 31st, we had prepared our reimbursement request and sent it into FEMA. Normally, our requests are received and approved within a couple of days, and within a couple of days of being approved, we get our automatic deposit. That has yet to happen. So of course it raised some eyebrows, especially with the finance team and Ron, and the decision was made on Saturday to halt all training, all projects for the SAFER grant. At this time, and I'll bring up the breakdown for liability so far, the SAFER reimbursement that we are waiting for is just under $470,000. $357,000 of that is MSFA liability, and $88,000 of that is the Maryland Fire Chief's liability. So that is the amount that we are currently waiting for reimbursement. The liability breakdown for 2025 to date, the MSFA is at almost $43,000, and the Maryland Fire Chiefs, with their trainings that they've had since the December cutoff, is $50,000. So to be fiscally responsible for both organizations, the decision was made to not expend any further funds until we know that we're getting this money back. Ron did have an opportunity to speak with Kathy Patterson yesterday at FEMA. There's not a lot of answers to be had, but what she did tell us was that the individual that was handling our paperwork is no longer with FEMA. So that could be why there's a delay. We're trying not to throw up the flag and say, you know, we're done with the SAFER grant and we lost, you know, whatever was left, but we just need to be careful and we need to be responsible. So that's why we did what we did. Letters and emails have gone out from the Maryland Fire Chiefs leadership, letting those who were approved to attend the Ocean City Mental Health Awareness course in March, that if they do go, it's going to be on their dime. We apologized. You know, there's nothing we can do at this point. We are still hopeful that things are going to shake out and we'll be able to continue and finish the SAFER grant strong, which is supposed to end November 30th. Because there was a few months delay in the beginning when we first received our notification of approval to the time that we were actually funded the money. It was about 3 to 5 months. I'm not sure of the time frame exactly. I don't have that number in front of me, but because of that delay, we will not be looking at a 6-month extension like we usually do. So the grant will end on November 30th, 2025. So that is the fun stuff from FEMA, and that's basically what we've been dealing with for the past week and a half. Just putting out fires and making sure that, you know, everybody is aware of what's going on and that people know not to spend money we don't know if we're going to get. The only other thing that I did see over the weekend was federal employees at the Firefighter Fatality Investigation and Prevention Program were cut from 5 individuals down to 2. So that's, I mean, it's affecting us on the federal level regardless of SAFER or whatever. And the National Firefighter Registry, the Cancer Registry, those federal workers have also been let go. So we're hoping that as they start to make these cuts and they realize, I think they've already done that in a couple of agencies where they've let people go and then they've hired them back once they realize what's going on. I know the IAFC federal firefighters are looking at that as well to make sure that they're not just getting, you know, federal firefighters are not getting cut and then having to be rehired. So we're watching that very carefully. As far as the 2024 SAFER grant application that we have already prepared for the next round, obviously we don't even know if there's even going to be a FEMA or if we're even going to have a new SAFER application. So, but we are prepared to apply again. So hopefully we'll move forward with that. All of the convention things we'll report on later. So if there's any other questions that you might have for me at this time, I'll touch on convention at the convention report. Nothing? Lynn, anything?
Nope.
Okay, so that's it. All right, thank you.
Oh, no, there we go. Mr. Secretary, you're up. Next will be Chief Chaplain, followed the Secretary.
Good morning. You should have a copy of my report electronically. that better? Okay. You should have a copy of my report, which was filed electronically. Got a couple items that we need to take action on today. One is approve the minutes of December the 14th, 15th, Executive Committee meeting at Berlin. Also December the 14th, a special executive session of the at Berlin, and January the 23rd, a Zoom meeting, which was held.
Okay, we need a motion by Tim Dayton and seconded
Second.
by Chip Jewell to approve all of the minutes as presented. Any questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion is passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next.
On the, as outlined in the bylaws, it's the responsibility of the secretary to invite the governor, lieutenant governor, and the comptroller, along with the mayor of Ocean City, to the annual convention. It's, I was thinking of across the river. Anyway, this has been done. The letters have gone out to those four individuals and inviting them to the convention. As you travel the state, each one of you go back to your local companies, local associations. Please remind everybody that they need to submit their credentials. As of right now, I've only received approximately 55 departments. There's another 300 out there that needs to submit them. So if we can get on to this and get it done before the last minute. Also, just a reminder that, anyone celebrating a anniversary, let me know, get the proper recognition certificates or plaques or whatever there. And with that, if anyone needs any additional copies of the directory, I have a few in the back. And also, if any of you found any mistakes in there, please let me know, and we can, I know the chairman has found one. It was pointed out to him that there was some mistakes. But anyway.
We try to get them straight.
Any other questions? Mr. Chairman, up to you.
Yeah, I got a question for you. It doesn't have anything to do with the secretary position, but how is your assistant secretary, Shirley?
Shirley is back home. She is working on rehab herself, and she's progressing. I thought she would be here today, but
Thank you.
thank you. I know we talked about it this morning. One other thing, with the name change, I have badges for the elected officers, presidents, trustees, and chaplain. Who else is on there? Myself, the treasurer. I think that's it. So with that, I will be passing these out. Now, I'm still in the process of trying to come up with a badge for the executive committee. Some of you have one of the old badges now. I'm not sure how many is out there. However, I'm unable to use that style of badge anymore because no one is making it. Ones that I have or can come up with is, there's I think there's about 3 that possibly can be used because of the size and because of the wording on there. So I'll be working with the presidents and so we can come up with a badge for the trustee, rather for the executive committee. But I will be passing out the other badges to the elected officers this morning, and we'll go from there. Any questions? I don't know. The 2 of them are different now. What you have and what is available is, yeah, as I say, it's 2 different styles. I'm just going by what was. If you wish, I can. If you wish, I can go ahead and go with all the same.
New organizational name. Why aren't we consistent?
Okay.
I mean, throwing it out for the committee. But
Any discussion? We should be uniform, I would say.
I don't think you need a motion, but I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think it should be the same. In a fire department, the badges are the same.
Okay, you got it?
We can work on that.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you. Mr. Chief Chaplain, John, thank you.
I did submit my report electronically along with the list of all the people we're memorializing this year. There'll be 404. I want to thank everyone since when I came to you in December, I only had 95, so I want to thank everyone for their help in getting all the names in. It's been a lot of work the last month and a half, but I really appreciate everybody getting their names in. I will be out of town February 27th till March 24th, but if you need me, I'll still have my cell phone with me. I'm not leaving the country. Well, I am. I'm going to Texas, so it's kind of out of. And I'm also going to the Fire Rescue Center of Excellence Suicide Symposium in Nashville. I'll be there the last week right before I come home. I have memorial books, what's left over from last year. It's not too many in the back table, and Doyle gave me a bunch of previous years, so they're back there too if you have somebody that you want from previous years. I also have the Maryland Last coins with me. This is what's left before we come out with a new coin in June down at Ocean City. So if you haven't gotten the Maryland Last Bell coin, come see me in the back. I have those with me. Any questions from folks?
Any questions? Thank you, sir. Shay, you're up.
I really don't have much. I just want to say our spring conference is April 5th in Parsonsburg. If anybody wants to join us, just let me know so I can get your name on the list. Thank you.
Thank you. What time does that start?
9.
Thank you. Okay, second vice president. Oh, wait a minute, let me read my order. Senior vice president and then junior vice president.
Nothing to say this morning. I'm just delighted to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I have no report, sir.
Thank you. Let's see. Betsy Marshall Fund, representative. I think she said Lori was here. Lori was here. Yep. Thank you. Next up would be the Miss Fire Prevention Ambassadors. Yeah.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I don't know about them back there, but we're talking.
Thank
we're
you.
awake.
I don't know about that.
You're right.
So, as of yesterday, the Bessie Marshall Fund has paid out 24 cases. So that's approximately $24,000. As of yesterday, for the 2024-25 year, we have only brought in $14,000. See a problem there? Yeah. That is from lottery tickets, donation, conference raffles, and miscellaneous raffles. 31% of the MSFA member companies have either bought tickets or donated money, and 37% of the LAMSFA has either bought tickets or donated money. Please encourage your companies to purchase the lottery tickets or send in donations. Any donations we'll take. $1, anything helps. Sharon could not be here today, obviously, due to Jean, Past President Jean, getting out of the hospital. Please keep them in your prayers. She asked that you advise your members to use the application located on the MSFA website for the cases. It is the only form that gives us the proper information that we need. Also in the back, I have some raffle tickets, so if you have a little extra money today, we have an Old Bay basket, which will go off at convention. They're $5 each or 5 for $20, and the basket probably has at least $150 to $200 probably in items inside. Lottery tickets are $5 each. I have Susan pins today. I will not be here tomorrow because I'm not making the drive back. It's quite a drive from the center of the state. And I'll take any donations as well. And that is it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you. Ms. Fire Prevention Ambassadors, or Ambassador.
Good morning, everyone. It's just me, Madeline.
morning.
Caitlin could not attend due to a issue with her work, but she wishes she could be here and gives her greetings as well. Over the past couple months, we haven't been able to attend as many meetings due to illness and weather, but everybody's safe, so that's good. We were able to attend both days of the Berlin conference, which was very nice. We enjoyed that very much, and that was a heavier quarter for us when it came to traveling. The Hartford-Cecil County Fire Prevention Association is going to be having a new upcoming miss. We're working with her right now. She's a bit younger, but she should be able to attend the Ocean City conference, which is good. I'm going to be assigned as a co-chair, hopefully, within the next month. I'm in contact with Heather Eli, which is over that program, so that's a good thing to get going. I've made contact with Queen Anne County and went to one of their meetings. The only company that I've had an event with so far is Sudlersville. I'm actually going over to them tomorrow night to discuss meeting with their schools and other things as such, so that should be something to look forward to. I went to the Cecil County meeting. Again, just some things that we're planning. Something that we are looking forward to is the Cecil County Sheriff's Office was given some car kits that we are hoping to give out to families in need in the kind of, I would say, less income areas that could use it a little bit more, and spreading a bigger safety messages to our areas that have a higher fire volume, especially in Elkton. Something else that we're looking forward to is near the end of the school year, getting back to like touch a truck events, which will be coming up in the spring, and we're going to attend as many of those as we can. So thank you so much, and if you guys have any events coming up, if you can please let us know, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you for your good work and dedication. Appreciate it. Okay, the Board of Trustees.
Good morning, everyone. The trustees met on February 12th via Zoom. Our report was filed electronically. The trustees met February 12th via Zoom. We do have one line of duty injury claim from La Plata Volunteer Fire Department right now. We just received the paperwork for. We got the paperwork right after we met this past week. So we'll be meeting next week to review that claim and make disposition on it. Thankfully, it's a very short-term injury claim, but I do want to thank La Plata Volunteer Fire Department, and specifically Butch Frazier, for taking the time to put the paperwork together for that. Getting that member the benefit that he deserves. I think it's important that it does take some time to put the paperwork together, but the funds are there, and so we're ready to look at any claim that comes before us. So thank you to La Plata for taking the time to do that paperwork. Also for the Colburn Cup, I didn't mention it in here, but please urge all your departments to look for anyone that may be eligible for the Colburn Cup award. We have not received any that have met the requirements yet this year for that award for the convention. The trustees are monitoring House Bill 76, Senate Bill 396, Public Safety Officer Performance of Duties, Death and Disability Benefits. It does contain a change to Section 7-202, which can impact the trustees and the MSFA. We are concerned about the financial impact that could have. We don't see where it calls out where additional funding could come from. We're hopeful that the Widows and Orphans Fund continues to be funded at $625,000, but obviously the state is in not the greatest of financial straits right now this year. So this bill, could open up additional claims to the trustees, and so that's our concern. We're not opposed. I just want to be clear, we're not opposed to supporting mental health for first responders. We absolutely support that. Trustee Joe McCray went and testified on the bill in favor of it for that reason this past week. But we just have concerns about financial impact it could have to the MSFA, and want to make sure that the Executive Committee and the Budget Committee are aware of that. And other than that, nothing else to report. If there's any questions.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I don't know if our attorney's here or not. I haven't seen him yet. Okay. Parliamentarians have a report? Here, sir.
Parliamentarians are here at your discretion, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir.
Always a pleasure.
Okay, now we're going to start at our partners' reports. DNR Forest Service up first, and then Maryland State Police Aviation on deck. Morning, Chris.
So my name is Shannon Wolf. I'm here representing Chris Robertson, our state fire supervisor. You should have our report electronically. I'm sure Chris submitted that. So this year has been a pretty challenging year for us. Interagency fire season out west was really busy last summer. And then we started into a drought that honestly has lasted up to about December here when we started getting some snow and precipitation. And it started early in western region, in June and July with the heat and drought. A lot of difficult fires to control out there, and then extended throughout the state. So in 2024, we had 165 fires that burned 953 acres. Which is a little bit below our average, but the majority of the fires actually occurred in a fairly short span of time in October to November, which was more than 3 times our 10-year average. And with the drought, those fires were incredibly difficult to contain and keep contained with the amount that they were smoldering. Prescribed burning has been on the increase statewide and continues to be on the increase. Last year in the state, we did 87 prescribed burns on 8,201 acres. That's a statewide number, and it continues to grow. And to meet that and make sure that those are being done responsibly, the state now has a prescribed burn fire council to help manage and train and make sure that those fires are being done responsibly. And also recently formed this year was a prescribed burn association on the eastern shore of Maryland, which is a group of landowners who are looking to promote responsible prescribed burning and work together to get that done. Personnel and staffing, Chris Smith, who was our fire manager last year in Central and Eastern Maryland, was promoted to the position of Associate Director with the Forest Service in statewide programs, which we realigned some things after he moved up. So last year I was the fire manager in Southern and Western region, and I took the role of Southern region and the Eastern Shore, and Tim Cole, who was a forest ranger in Garrett County, has now taken the role of fire manager in Western and Central region. Volunteer fire assistance grants in 2024. Grants were awarded to 55 fire departments in 18 counties. That's a 50-50 grant match to support purchasing wildland fire equipment for volunteer fire departments. And the total last year that we provided was $159,234. We're expecting similar funding levels this year, but with federal grants, it's dynamic, so we'll see where that goes. Wildland fire training. We just finished a training course, our fall offering, which we had to postpone to winter because of the active fire season, and we trained 55 firefighters. We have our annual refresher coming up at Sandy Point on March 14th, and that's our pack test and refresher for in-state and interagency fire. And then the second offering will be March 26th at Fort Frederick State Park. We'll be holding the Mid-Atlantic Wildfire Academy this year in Garrett County, and at the Garrett County Community College. That's held June 9th through 13th. As part of the agreement for us to hold the Mid-Atlantic Compact Academy in Maryland, we offer basic training. We're able to offer that free to any volunteer firefighter that would like to take that training. So that's available. There'll be registration. Registration will open on March 11th, and that's posted on our website. Fleet and heavy equipment. We've had a much better than average year with replacing our fleet vehicles, which isn't the norm for us, but we're looking pretty good with our fleet trucks and brush trucks that our forestry personnel is assigned in each county. We've able to replace 5 new dozer transport trucks in 2024 with Kenworth Dovetail trucks through the state's loan lease program, and also from revenue that we kind of earned from responding to interagency fires in support of national fires. We also added 2 dozers this year, one in Frederick County and then one in Wicomico County, replacing older fleet. We added 2 heavy Type 6 engines, which for us are the F550s cab and chassis with a 400-gallon tank and suppression unit, and now we have at least one of those with the Forest Service in each region, and those 2 are replacing two that we're starting to show their age. So that is the end of my report.
Thank you. Have any questions? Thank you. State Police Aviation, Mims is up next.
Good morning. My name is First Sergeant Michael Mann, Maryland State Police Aviation Command, here on behalf of Major Tagliaferri, the commander. Our report was submitted electronically, but we'll go over some different things in it. We finished 2024 with fairly consistent medevac numbers as the prior years, with no really significant changes there, and had a relatively busy January despite the weather and a slower time of year. On the personnel front, we continue to recruit well for people interested in being trooper flight paramedics. So we had 3 new medics fielded and released to full crew status just a couple weeks ago. We have 3 more that are in our field training program that will be fielded probably in April. And despite the nationwide challenges in law enforcement recruitment, the Maryland State Police is starting our next academy class this Monday. We have 47 trooper candidates slated to start, and 5 of those are experienced paramedics that we have recruited from throughout Maryland and the country will be coming on board. So we continue to recruit for a few pilot positions that are open, and our maintenance department is essentially fully staffed, and they really do exceptional work for us. That we do continue to struggle with parts availability for the airframe, which is an international problem with aviation in general, and this aircraft is wildly popular throughout the world, and everybody is struggling at times to get some parts, so we continue to work through that. So we're also continuing the radio upgrade package for these aircraft. As all the radios throughout our public safety partners advance, the radios need to be upgraded to match those. So 2 of the aircraft have been upgraded, and as the others go through their heavy maintenance cycle, they will also get updated. Our recruitment partly ties into we're taking an increased presence and interaction with all these social media influencers. And as my teenage sons tell me, I'm now too old to understand. So, but we're finding that the young trooper candidates, and now even the pilots that are coming out of the military and other places, that's what they're paying attention to. So we've become very involved on Instagram and YouTube and different social media influencers that will come and do a feature on our program and then put that on, and then it gets 30,000 views really quick, and then we generate some recruitment out of that, and spread the gospel of Maryland's program of what we've been doing here as our premier unique EMS system and aviation program that I think we can agree remains unparalleled across the country. The blood program really continues to be a very significant benefit to all of our patients. Thus far, since we started the blood program in May of 2023, we've had over 1,200 units of blood pass through our system that we've been responsible for without any units being wasted or expired or not accepted back into the University of Maryland Shock Trauma Blood Bank to be used on other patients. So none goes to waste. And we've had, as of last week, we've had approximately 230 patients that have received blood. And interestingly, just how all of us in the public safety world are always working to adapt and overcome with problems. We've had several patients that, while each aircraft carries 2 units of the whole blood, we've had several critically ill patients that the aircraft was able to direct line rendezvous with another aircraft base and obtain their blood to provide additional units of blood while en route to the trauma center, and that those patients received 3 or 4 units in total, and would not have survived without arriving at an appropriate trauma center in a timely fashion without receiving the whole blood to get them there. So it's really been a tremendous game changer for all the patients that we serve. Also, I think that we all can also agree that all of our programs really exist because of the quality of people we have. And I'm certainly very proud of the people that we have and that I'm personally responsible for at Trooper 7 right here in St. Mary's County, and at Trooper 2, which comprises my southern region area of responsibility. But all of our organizations are great because of our people, and we're very pleased that this week we announced the appointment of our new Director of Flight Operations. So the Director of Flight Operations for our program is a pilot that's responsible for all operational aspects and ensuring that the fleet's ready to respond 24/7 to all our calls for service. And he's my boss, so I'm going to talk really well about him. So we're pleased to announce that as of this week, our new Director of Flight Operations is Mr. Scott Curtin. Since July of 2023, he's been a line pilot for us at Trooper 3 in Frederick. But he began his service life in 1990 when he was appointed to the United States Air Force Academy. After graduating from the Air Force Academy, he served 24 years in the Air Force as a helicopter pilot with over 5,000 hours of flight time, multiple combat deployments, safety, command, and training assignments, and retired in 2014 as a colonel in a Special Operations Command. After Director Curtin's retirement, he became a medevac pilot for Virginia Commonwealth University in the Richmond area and flew scene and inter-facility medevac there, and was quickly selected to be an instructor pilot before becoming an assistant chief pilot for Air Methods, which is the vendor company for that program. Eventually, his family wanted to relocate back to Maryland, where their family's located, so that was to our benefit. So in July 23, he came to us, and now after being involved with our program, he applied and was selected to be our new Director of Operations. So he obviously brings a tremendous background from his military service and training, safety, and standardization, and significant experience in the air medical industry. So he and his wife live in the Urbana area, and we're happy to have him as my new boss, so please tell him I said so. So finally, I want to thank you all for your support. I grew up in the volunteer fire service down on the Eastern Shore. I passed through College Park Volunteer Fire Department, but I think Ken Bush is a little bit younger than me, maybe, so we didn't ride together, but passed through the same place. And I know that our program has always been successful because of the support of this organization and our partner organizations at MIMS, MIFRI, and Shock Trauma. So thank you for your support.
Thank you. Do you have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate your service.
So I'll be decidedly brief, but I'm happy to answer any questions. Maybe I'll just prime you up for those. Being legislative season and all is sort of mellow except for that, and we're following a couple of bills that are kind of interesting. House Bill 935 would require an ambulance or an athletic trainer at every high school football game in the state. That sounds like a really good idea. I'm not so sure what the impact is on schools. We're working with the Athletic Training Association to continue to monitor that and figure out strategy. House Bill 246 mandates, this is actually interesting, mandates EMS to be required reporters of vulnerable adults who are neglected or abused. Right now that responsibility exists for children who are abused. This would extend that same requirement to adults. We're working with the Department of Human Services to arrive at some clarification about what constitutes reporting. The law as it currently is drafted would require them to report abuse to the local Department of Social Services. There is a hotline available in the state. We want the report to the hotline to suffice so that we can publish one number that would be good across the state and alleviate EMS people from that responsibility. Senate Bill 369 requires AEDs in libraries. This is the result of somebody who had a cardiac arrest in the library and didn't survive, and their family is pursuing this. You may recall last year that there was a law that went into effect on January 1st, 2025 that requires AEDs to be in restaurants and grocery stores. By the way, if you're in your favorite restaurant or your grocery store and you don't see an AED, you might remind them that they're supposed to have one. That law got a little confusing because it doesn't ascribe to the same requirements that every public access AED has to do otherwise, specifically around the training of the coordinator that is responsible for making sure the people in the establishment understand how to use an AED. The library bill was going to do a similar kind of thing. We intervened and made it so that it's like every other public access AED, which registers the defibrillator on a public access AED registry that MEMS monitors, facilitates, so that 911 centers can know where there's an AED if a caller calls for cardiac arrest and can direct the caller to an available AED that's in their proximity. So we're in favor of that. House Bill 1408 is about discriminating public safety folks, specifically firefighters and EMS clinicians who test positive for THC or cannabis, specifically about if they have a medical cannabis card. So just because they tested positive isn't grounds to discriminate them in terms of promotion or job opportunities or things like that. I remind everybody that the EMS board has taken a position on this previously, and that might be the case for testing, but it is still prohibited conduct to be impaired by cannabis and be on duty, and that'll be grounds for the board to take action on an EMS clinician's credentials if that was to occur. House Bill 1131 creates a grant for training of EMS clinicians to administer buprenorphine. Buprenorphine is a partial opioid antagonist, or agonist, I'm sorry. Think of it as an alternative to methadone for drug abuse, for opioid use disorder treatment. In some locations in the United States, EMS clinicians have been trained to induce people with buprenorphine who are suffering from opioid withdrawal, whether the opioid withdrawal occurred naturally or was induced by administering naloxone. And so this would create a pool of money available to train EMS clinicians in the use of buprenorphine. See where that goes. I talked about the AED registry previously, and last year at this time we were talking about COMAR 30.02.02, which stipulates the requirements for EMS clinician certification and licensure and renewal. And we were all poised to run up to a change in how we would renew EMT specifically, and we pulled it off the table sort of at the 11th hour, and because it was very clear that we weren't ready and hadn't considered some nuances of how folks train and/or their ability to demonstrate technical proficiency, skills verification, and the time that took. So we recrafted that. The goal, the deal will be that an EMT to be recredentialed over the course of 3 years will have to do 24 hours of continuing education, same as it is now. But instead of being lopped into like a 12-hour, sit down and take a course on a Saturday, and then 12 hours, come back on Sunday and do skills all day long, the skills verification can take anywhere between 1 and 9 hours, and the balance of that time is the 24 hours that would be required for continuing education. It allows the opportunity for EMTs to do this asynchronously so they can do it online and have many more opportunities. We've worked closely with MIFRI so that we're aligned. We've worked closely with the other folks in the state that do continuing education to make sure that EMTs will have plenty of opportunity. The idea is for this, if it goes as planned and the regulation modifications are currently in the queue to be published in the Maryland Register so we can get feedback. But if it goes as planned, this will begin to affect people who expire anytime after July 31st, 2025. So the next cohort of people for whom this will affect are people whose credentials will expire in January of 2026. And we'll have to do a lot of crosswalking because presumably folks who are going to expire in that period of time have already done a lot of the continuing education work and done things to prep themselves for renewal. So we anticipate having to match people's accomplishments so far with what would be expected in the new model. But really, the idea is to make it way more easy for EMTs to recertify and give them many more opportunities to acquire the continuing education they need to do that. And I'll stop talking. Happy to answer any questions.
Anybody have any questions? Thank you, Doc.
Awesome.
Nice report. Thank you. Who's next? MIFRI's on deck. Morning.
Good morning. The report for shock trauma. You should have all had this electronically. So our volumes at the minute, we're running at 1,507 patients, which is slightly below where we were this time last year. Our length of stay is at 10.17 days. Again, that looks like it's a little up from last year. However, we're doing a lot of work around this at the minute. We tend to be a little higher in the winter months. With our length of stay, we continue to do all the work we can to keep it down. We did see a decrease in the amount of time it's taking us to get patients to the OR and a decrease in their length of stay based on the fact that we recently reopened another OR. So some progress in that area. For our demographics, we're still seeing most of our patients admitted are in the over 56 age group. Mechanism of injury, falls is still our highest with 44% of our injuries so far. We are targeting falls with our injury prevention initiatives and recently hired a dedicated staff member coordinator to just target on falls prevention. We have various things running in the hospital and also in the community. For inter-hospital transfers, 83% of them are from non-trauma centres, 17% of them are from trauma centres within the state. We have had 445 total transfers so far this year. That is down a little bit from where we were last year. But again, doing everything we can to keep those coming in. Inter-hospital lost transfers to patients we weren't able to get to us in a timely fashion. There were 47 of those. Again, this is an area that we're concentrating on, just trying to do all we can to get patients to us in a timely fashion. We are making progress on that also. Capacity. We have been on capacity for only 1.97 hours in the first 2 quarters of FY25. And that also includes actually no time on capacity from November through December. So again, we've made a lot of progress in that over the last couple of years. Our GO team has had 7 activations with 5 deployments. 3 have been to PG County, 1 to Charles County, 1 to Anne Arundel County, and all of those patients were transported to shock trauma following extrication. Our Centre for Injury Prevention and Policy, we have had 131 events in 11 counties, which is 2 more counties than we were in FY24, and we've had 2,521 participants. Our Stop the Bleed, again, one of our biggest initiatives. We have had 84 courses taught for 1,713 participants. We're now offering public classes in shock trauma down in the city, and also in Howard County, Baltimore County, Harford County, and Carroll County. We're partnering with University of Maryland Shore Regional Health, so we can expand offerings over onto the Eastern Shore, and with University of Maryland Capital Regional to expand our offerings down into PG County. So we've actually had a 108% increase in the number of classes that we have taught since FY24, which is really good. And we always have opportunities for anybody who would like to partner with us. Come help us teach. Let us know if you need a course. We are happy to come help and have you join us. Stop the Bleed curriculum in the high schools. We have had 109 bleeding control stations provided, 150 training limb kits provided, and over 829 health educators and school nurses trained, so continuing to work in the school system. Our EMS training and outreach, we have 16 trainings so far with 169 participants, and that has been skills labs, simulations, trainings, and also a US Army Reserve training that was completed. Our shock trauma EMS liaison education, we have had 1 EMS broadcast so far and 1 training. And then coming up, we have our SDC EMS conference, which is set for Saturday, March the 29th. It's just a half-day conference from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Notification was sent to all jurisdictions, but if anybody needs more information on that, I'm happy to provide it. There's also an optional Stop the Bleed class following that, so if anybody would like to take a Stop the Bleed class, that is also being offered. All of that is free of charge. And the subjects for our conference are whole blood, hyperbaric oxygenation, initial trauma assessment and resuscitation, and non-compressible torso trauma. Observer program, we have had 3 US medical observers, 8 international observers from 3 different countries. So the observer program is still going strong. And if anybody ever wants to come down and observe with us, please feel free to reach out. We can organize that for anybody as well. Looking ahead to our goals for FY25, continue to improve the trauma center capacity and throughput, expansion of our wraparound services for victims of violence, that is mostly happening down in our clinic, and then further statewide Stop the Bleed outreach. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. Griffith's up, and then MDM on deck.
Morning, Mr. Chairman.
Morning.
Okay, real quick, I'll run through some stats and everything for you all and then answer any questions you may have. So, EMTB programs, we're still hanging around the 74% mark. Pass rates in line with National Registry. I believe I had mentioned at the last executive committee meeting, and if I didn't, wanted to breach the subject now about the third test for EMT. If you've noticed, I haven't had that data on any of the reports lately, and that's because that is very difficult to track. Usually by the time one of the candidates gets to a third test in the EMT program, they're long gone out of the MIFRE program. So there's no mechanism really for me to follow them. So we just won't put the third test data in. We can look at what National Registry is and what MIMS may have by folks that get certified. But there's really, we'll have some of it, but it won't be accurate. So I don't want to put anything down that's not going to be accurate. So if you all could keep that in mind. So instructor recruitment continues. So again, anyone 21 years of age, 3 years of experience in the field that they want to teach and in good standing with your department and sponsoring agency, we'll take care of the rest, getting them through skills and moving them forward to become an MICRB instructor here in the state. So on February 12th, the MICRB held its 201st meeting. And at the conclusion of that meeting, there were 792 state emergency instructors, emergency services instructors, 268 instructor evaluators, and 16 instructor trainers. So the board will meet again on Wednesday, May 14th, and we'll be able to update those numbers. While we're on the subject of instructors and MICRB numbers, as I spoke to you all before, the MICRB had come up with a solution to the difficulty in having instructor trainers. Remember, instructor trainers are the instructors to teach us in emergency services how to be instructors. So the MICRB came up with a program. It was moved forward to the Maryland Fire Rescue Education Training Commission back in the fall. It was around October, and that has not moved anywhere. We haven't heard anything back from them yet. So the program the MICRB had come up with, and basically it's just going to be a dual path for people to be instructor trainers. And what is laid out in the what we call the Orange Book or the Code of Maryland Regulations for instructors still requires folks to have college education and certain degrees. The program that the MICRB came up with does away, it makes a second track where folks won't have to have that college degree to become an instructor trainer. At the last meeting, I'd spoken with you all about that, and but we have yet to see what's going to come out of MIFRE Tech yet. So I think that would be a big help. It'll go a long way in helping us make more instructors to ensure there's an adequate number of them out across the state to be able to deliver the emergency services training required for all of our emergency services responders. Instructor skills. There's instructor skills coming up April 12th and 13th. It would be the skills enhancement. That's where the folks will come and they'll walk through things with our instructors step by step. And then on April 25th, 26th, and 27th is when the actual skills testing will take place. So while it's not mandatory, we certainly encourage people to come to the enhancement because that is really been a big help in getting people through the skills testing. New and revised training programs. Just wanted to remind you all, there's about 20 to 22 programs that are being redone this year. As a reminder, the requirements for the programs actually are handed down by NFPA, then they go to the National Pro Board, and then it's handed down to us as state certification, or to state certification agencies, the publishers of the materials, and then to us in the emergency services training organizations. So sometimes when you all ask the question of why is this dumb stuff in one of the programs that are put together, it's because it's handed down from other folks. It's not us putting it in there. I just want to make that clear so you all are aware of that. So short courses are still on schedule. We want to get back into doing that. And in addition to the short courses, I do want to mention that the Firefighter 1 and 2 program will be redone. There'll be no more cumulative testing with those programs. where it used to be if you, once they got through Mod 1 and they were testing for Mod 2, there could have been Mod 1 information still on the test that they're taking in Mod 2, and the Mod 3 test would have Mod 1, Mod 2, Mod 3 information in there. We've decided, Pro Board has come down at a new ruling at their conference in January that our folks were out at, that it doesn't have to be cumulative. Perfect. We don't want it to be that way. When people take a test, they should be tested on the module they just finished, and when they're done with that, they can be tested on the next module and then the next module, instead of everything all bunched in. So that's one change coming. One of the other things is I put together a work group back somewhere around November or so. This work group was to look at online training that we would offer at MIFRE. I had 10 specific questions I wanted the work group to look into. It was a wide-ranging group, and that has come back with, yes, it should be done, and we're going to look into it. The more we looked into it at MIFRE, I think the first program out of the gate is going to be a Fire Officer 2 program. But instead of it being totally online, we are going to make that an independent self-study program. So any of you all have ever had a college class that you may have taken online, it'll be the same concept. You can go on there at your free will, at your time, once you're registered for that, go through the materials, and then show up somewhere and take a test at one of the regions or another facility and get through the programs a little faster. So we're excited about that. It's time for that. It's difficult to move people off of that mark at times. However, this large work group that we put together looked at this and absolutely agreed that it's time for us to move into that realm. Some of the reasons our curriculum developers were a little reluctant to do so is back during COVID. We had disastrous results with some programs during COVID, you know, so, and that's one of the other reasons we decided to go more with an independent study model for these. So it won't be for the initial training programs. The initial training programs, Fire 1, Fire 2, EMT, EMR, those classes, there's too many skills and too many practical applications for that to be delivered in that type of a format. But outside of that, we feel strongly that a lot of the fire officer programs can be done in that manner. The OSHA 1910-156 emergency response standard, if Kate had updated you, my apologies, just want to touch on that. That group, since the change of administration, has been all over the place. We've been still meeting with MOSH, and they were talking about revising or renewing the Maryland Fire Service Health and Consensus Safety Standard, but it was my understanding that the last meeting, the group had made a recommendation to MOSH about just tell us what fire service agencies need that you'll be looking at in the event you have to come out and look into an incident that occurs. So that's kind of where it's left, and I believe there's a meeting next month with them. March 4th? Okay. Seminars and training coming up. Maryland weekend is going on now, today and tomorrow up at the NFA. MIFRE's National Staff and Command Program is scheduled for the week of March 2nd through the 7th. And then the Hoagland Chief Officer Seminar or Officer Seminar is scheduled for March 8th and 9th, which will be up at University, Maryland in Rockville. So they're still ongoing, and hopefully we'll have good turnouts for all those programs. While we're in St. Mary's County, I wanted to just mention about some of the personnel changes that are occurring at the Southern Maryland Regional Training Center. Jim Key, our current coordinator, has been moved up to College Park, and Jack Bell, one of the former coordinators, has went down and taken over there for them. In addition to Jack, there'll be a second individual going down to help out with some of the coordinating functions, and that will be Mr. Ed Rashinkas. Ed's a longtime instructor for us, just recently retired from Baltimore County, and is willing to come down and help out with that. In addition to the changes down here in Southern Maryland, there are some other positions that are going to be open. We're going to be looking for a section chief for our planning, and that's actually our chief curriculum developer position, as well as another curriculum developer position. And then there's a state programs manager that oversees the Southern Maryland, Upper Eastern Shore, and Western Maryland regions that is open. So anyone you know that's interested in them positions, please see or encourage them to apply. They can go up onto the website and apply for any of the positions anybody that's interested. So one other change, the Maryland IMT team. The Maryland IMT team was headed up and was coming out of MEMA. A few years ago, Secretary Strickland had approached me, and because of a lot of the red tape that they're involved in back when they were tied with the Maryland military, that we actually at MIFRE hired the team manager and one of the deputies for the team. So, and we've been housing them for a few years. Secretary Strickland has come to let us know back in November that the funding for the IMT team that they were receiving is going to be going away effective June 30th. So the IMT team's been around a long time. It used to be called the Baltimore Regional Incident Management Team. It came out of the Metropolitan Fire Chiefs Committee with recommendations from the old incident management team that they had, and that team was formed. Knowing the importance of that team and having a vacancy on our enterprise side in special programs, I spoke with Secretary Strickland back in December and told him I'd be willing to maintain those two folks on out of our special program section so that team can stay active as long as it could get some assistance from the Metropolitan Fire Chiefs. So I did meet with them last week and let them know that I'd be willing to maintain them two positions at MIFRE in our special program side, as long as the Metro Chiefs would commit to putting together a steering committee to steer our team, the team manager for that. So they voted on that at their last meeting. It was unanimous consent, and they're going to do that, put a steering committee together and have them have a little more buy-in and activity than what they have not had in the past. So that team will stay up and running for a while, and then we'll find some grant funding money for it to keep it going into the future instead of this temporary measure. So with that, that's all I have, Mr. Chairman. I'll answer any questions anyone may have.
Thank
you. Question regarding
Yes,
Fire
sir.
Officer 1. We are in the process of Frederick County really trying to develop all of our officers and standards and such. And I recall about 4 generations ago teaching Fire Officer 1 where we had NIMS for Fire Command, which in that 5-week section pretty much paralleled the 300 and 400 that I taught later for NIMS. The challenge that we're having is the older officers that took NIMS for Fire Command that don't have 300 or 400. Is there some way to indicate the equivalency of that 5-section class so that we're not taking people and having to retrain them on stuff they had 30 years ago?
Right. I don't know without looking at a menu for the program, but I certainly can have our curriculum developers look at the requirements for the 300 and 400 class compared to the old NIMS class and see where that goes. So I'll put that down for you right now.
Wow.
Now we'll try it again. Mr. Director, if you were talking about the MICRB and the recommendation of a second pathway. What's the impact if you don't have this second pathway?
I think it could be significant. There are, and what drives me crazy is that over the years, we see folks that are teaching in schools on military bases, schools in some jurisdictions, and they don't have a degree in education. Some of them have certificates from college, maybe a teaching certificate or so. But having our group looked at that a while back ago, who were credentialed and degreed teachers that are on the MICRB, looked at that and said they don't believe it's needed, and we don't think so neither. But I think it'll have a significant impact if we continue. I mean, we're 16 now as of last month, but if there's an instructor trainer that doesn't renew, that's going to drop to 15. And it is really, really important that we develop, some instructor trainers, continue to be able to teach instructor training, instructor 1, instructor 2, so that we can make MICRB instructors and they can, be out there teaching. It's no secret, the proposal we put forward to MIFRE Tech, while the education requirements are gone out of there, the program, we're looking for experienced instructors that have taught more than 750 hours. They have to have had good evaluations all the way through, and we are going to teach them a program, an instructor trainer program for them so that they can teach instructors. So it's all laid out, it's ready to go. Last meeting that I attended for MIFRE Tech, again, they were still looking at it, and I think there might have been a little bit of hang up because they want people to have degrees. But I can tell you some of the best fire instructors I ever had throughout my career in the fire service, and some I see at MIFRE, they don't have degrees, and they're some of the best instructors that were ever out there. So I'm not saying that, if somebody has a degree, great, but if they don't, this is a way for us to get over that hump and ensure that we're still providing instruction and making instructors to teach the emergency services programs that are out there.
Thank you for that. Just as a point of reference, I don't have that degree for teaching. I've been teaching at a college now for 30 years.
There you go.
And I teach a wide range of things, much like the fire classes, between mechanical contracting, mechanical work, and electrical work. It's technical work, but you don't need a degree for that. So my next question would be, would a voice from this association, could that be helpful?
Yes, I believe so.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we would send a letter of support that this second pathway would be looked at and passed so that we can get the trainers that we need. Would that be appropriate, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, second by Mal here. And that we support that and send a letter. And Past President Cox, you got some comments?
Who do you want that letter directed to?
Well, that was going to be my next question, sir. I don't know who it goes to, but I was sure that yourself would be able to guide us with that.
Be the chairman of MIFRE Tech.
I'm thinking even higher than that, because it's been, to my understanding, it's been presented to the chairman of MIFRE Tech and to MIFRE Tech. I'm thinking to the Secretary of Higher Education.
There's one vote.
There you go.
There you go. Bob just mentioned it. Send it to all three of them. If you'll.
That will be fine. Yes, sir. A part of the motion.
Okay, any more? We got a motion to support and send a letter to all three representatives. And we'll get that information to our secretary. Any more comments or questions? Mr. President, you were up. Do you have anything?
No. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Actually, Member Phillips and I had conversations regarding this in the past, and he covered everything excellent. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Thank you, Mr. Director. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
MDEM's up, did come right there. And next would be the Maryland Fire Rescue Memorial Foundation.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Tim Schneeman on behalf of MDEM. Our report was submitted electronically, however, it does need some edits, so I will be resending that as soon as I get back to a computer. So as far as the 911 board updates, their fiscal year accomplishments for 2024, they funded approximately $36 million in PSAP infrastructure across the state, supported next-gen 911 migration in 23 out of the 24 counties. Their fiscal year 25 goal is to get that last one up to the next-gen 911 deployment standards. As far as grant funding, the VCAF has a total balance just under $35 million, with $5.2 million available for future loans. The AMOS fund, as of right now, on January 13th, all counties have been confirmed eligible for the funds, and MDEM has processed their allocations. Disbursements can take several weeks, so if your county has not received your disbursement yet, please contact Scott Gordon at MDEM. I can provide his information if you need it. Other than that, from our training and exercise folks, the LMS platform that we were using is going to sunset on February 22nd. All records have been preserved, and students are encouraged to save backups of their training as well. Students that were already registered for courses do not need to re-register. The new LMS is actually going to be through the MDEM webpage. There is a link in there that will take you to the new website. Outside of that, the only other update that we have is for the Maryland SAR Coordination Task Force. There is a 25-26 SAR exercise, which will be a breach of the Loch Raven Dam in Baltimore County. There will be some MEMAC opportunities for jurisdictions outside of the Baltimore UASC to participate, so please look forward to that. Barring any questions, that is it from MDEM at this point.
We need your last name, sir.
Schneeman, SCHNEEMAN.
Thank you. You got any questions? Thank you for the update.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Fire marshal is on deck.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Almost made a U-turn up the street this morning. Started turning white, and I thought, wait a minute. They don't get that stuff down this way. First of all, I did have a nice chat on Wednesday with Brother Worthington. A little frustrated, but he sounds great. He had some additional testing yesterday, so just keep him in your thoughts and prayers. I know he'd appreciate it. I submitted my report yesterday electronically on behalf of the foundation. As of right now, we have 3 names that will be going on the wall this year. The first one is an interesting one, and it goes back to 1910. And I was a little disappointed in reaching out to some of my friends in Baltimore County. They're unaware of the incident, but it involved a horse and buggy. And back in those days, apparently the Baltimore County Fire Department had a chief engineer. So that's the one name. The second name, and the one thing is firefighter EMT Keith Phillips of Winfield and Community Fire Company. This is an occupational. It happened, I think, 2 years ago. It did not go before the Board of Trustees because at that time, the family wasn't sure. I just want to make everybody aware that with the cancer situation and DOJ and PSOB, I'm aware of several other families are submitting paperwork on their own because the local career department or the local volunteer department are basically saying it happened 2 years, 3 years, whatever. But this is the first one. Phillips is the first one that we're aware of. DOJ and PSOB has been approved. So just a heads up. I am aware, I think there's either one or two folks from Montgomery County, career, that have gone the same route. We just need to keep an eye on it. And then the other will be Lieutenant Higgins from Montgomery County, who passed away here recently. Again, our paperwork is due to Gary by March the 1st, so that we can be entered into the program. The other thing, we're currently working, back when we started selling the bricks, everybody had the opportunity that when you bought the small brick, you was given a replica brick, no cost. But that was supposedly a one-shot deal. Well, as we're looking at ways to making money these days, we reached out to the brick company because we found out that they are doing this program. So now if you go online, or we're going to have forums, I'm hoping we're going to have everything ready by Ocean City. When you buy the small brick, if you want the commemorative brick, you'll be able to do that. For those of you who have already purchased the 4x8 brick and did not get one of these, all right, you'll be able to reach out and we will be able to get you one of those. I think we're going to sell those for $20 a piece, okay? And then the last but not least, in trying to update our records, we are still missing some information. Chief Tim, I'll get with you later, reference, but I need some assistance out of Allegheny County from Midland Fire Company. Timmy, I'll talk to you, reference the Potomac. Caroline County, Denton, volunteer, whichever the executive committee, okay. See me at lunch before I head back. I've got a name. And Charles County.
They're not here today. You might be able to find somebody in the audience.
Let's see, Garrett County, 2 names, and then I have 2 names, I think, from Montgomery. Okay, Chevy Chase, both out of Chevy Chase. So again, what we're trying to do is update the records, and so it be. Last but not least, although I was put back in office in November for a 2-year term, I will tell you, as I informed the Metro Fire Chiefs the other day, my intent is not to serve that remaining of the 2 years. I'm hoping we, come November, we elect our vice president. We rotate the terms. But this old guy is almost 80 years old. And hopefully, I think I got a youngster that will be stepping forth. And I'm hoping that he retires next week. And I'm hoping between next week and 1st of November, we can bring him up to speed and he can move forward. The project has been fun. Again, I just feel honored. It's probably the best committee that I've ever worked with in and away from the fire service. And I've been involved in quite a few committees, trust me, a lot of committees. But I'm hoping with the construction company has promised us they'll be in there maybe by the end of next month, and by May the 1st, that project will be done. So when the new chair takes over, he's not going to have to worry about that end of the program. So again, I need to meet also, is Chief Sarnecki here today?
He'll be here tomorrow.
Oh, okay. I need to read, because with the request that you all referenced the $200,000, we're going to be needing that money probably within the next.
Talk with Steve.
Okay, we'll probably need that within the next 30 days. So again, last but not least, Ocean City, man, we pray for pretty weather. You know, we do. We do all the praying that you can, because Sunday night, it's got to be sunny and clear. It's got to be. It makes us or breaks us. So again, I just want to thank all of you. It's been a pleasure, but it's time for Dennis to move on. It's time for Dennis to move on. So.
Thank you for your service. We really appreciate it, and you've done a great job. Okay, the Fire Marshal's Office, and then EMS Board's up next.
Good morning, Chairman and members of the
Good morning,
Executive
sir.
Committee. I realized that my report was not transmitted electronically, so my apologies to the group. I did bring ample printed copies, and I'll go over that with you now. Update on our fire fatalities. In calendar year 2024, there were 56 confirmed fatalities in fires that involve residential structures, 9 associated with vehicle fires, and 5 in other settings, for a total of 70 confirmed fire deaths across the state. We had 5 confirmed multi-fatality fires in 2024. If you look at the chart below, you'll see in 2024, our fire deaths were led by Baltimore City, Prince George's County, Baltimore County, and Montgomery County. No surprise, that's consistent with the trends that we've seen over the years, and that is the largest population density in the state. So that's consistent. So far in calendar year 2025, we've had 3 confirmed fatalities associated with residential structure fires. No fatalities in vehicle fires or other settings, for a confirmed total of 3 fire deaths across the state. Currently, there are 6 deaths pending cause with the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. As of when I authored this report earlier in the week, there were 2 confirmed multi-fatality fires, which were double fatals. Unfortunately, since Thursday night, we've had 3. We had a double fatal in Anne Arundel County, just outside of Annapolis, Thursday evening. We had yesterday morning in Aberdeen, Harford County, we had a double fatality fire. Investigators are looking at several accidental causes, and it's important to note that no working smoke alarms had been found in that home. Then yesterday morning, shortly after the Aberdeen fire, we were alerted to a double fatality fire in LaVale, Allegheny County. Investigators are still working the origin and cause of that fire, and it is unknown at this point that smoke alarms were present as well. So it's not been a very good 48 hours for the state with double fatalities. Obviously we were working hard last year, and those numbers have went up. What's alarming is that at least 2 of those 3 fires in the last 48 hours, there's no indication of working smoke alarms. That's a problem that we can solve, and we should be solving that. So, for calendar year 2024, the agency activities, you'll see that our investigation numbers for fire, explosives, and others was just under 1,000 statewide. We were at 953. So that was a good increase from the previous year. We're trending up on our investigations, as you can see, looking back clear to 2022. On the inspection side, for initial and follow-up inspections, we were just shy of 14,000 inspections statewide. Our staff really, have become proactive. We've worked through a lot of internal initiatives to get out into the community, and we also onboarded and completed training of some new inspection staff. So we went from 11,600 in 2023 up to 13,887 in calendar year 2024. Our engineering staff stayed very busy. Productivity was up for them last year. They're up to 1,425 plan reviews for the state. And we're now tracking our public education and community risk reduction, and you'll note that we did 235 CRR events statewide and community outreach. So that's a huge number for us. I did list in my report several legislative matters that we're watching. This year we have no specific departmental bills or agency bills in, but there are several bills that we're monitoring. I'm not going to touch on them unless you all have specific questions. I know Chief Phillips and the Legislative Committee will go over in great detail many of these bills, and we work closely and enjoy our partnership with him. One that I would like to bring to your attention that is critical to our office is House Bill 477, which is the Family Child Care and Child Care Home Adult-Child Ratio Alteration. Right now, the state code restricts the number of infants under 24 months in a family daycare home to 2 infants per 1 provider. The idea is that in the event of an emergency, those children that aren't capable of self-preservation can be scooped up, 1 child on each hip, and evacuated out of the home. There is a strong push for the second year in Annapolis to change that ratio and increase it up to 3 or 4 children under 2. Obviously, we have great concern with this. We believe that it creates a perilous condition within the home should an emergency happen that could require a provider to have to try to re-enter the home to evacuate the other 2 children that aren't capable of self-preservation. We all know in the fire service that our fires are burning faster, hotter, and more lethal now than they were decades ago. So our agency, we have been authorized to submit a letter of information on this bill. We have submitted a strongly worded letter of information that outlines our concerns, but we are at this point not able to officially oppose it. So we really need our partners within this room at the MSFA level, at the Legislative Committee level, and individual department level to become involved, reach out to your senators and delegates with that information. We do continue to work on 2 work groups. House Bill 468, which is the lithium-ion battery safety. Many of the organizations in this room are represented on that work group, and our agency staffs that. And House Bill 823, which is the pre-1974 non-sprinkler residential high-rise work group, is ongoing as well. I'm going to touch on a few of our significant incidents since December. Christmas Day, Deputy State Fire Marshals and Hartford County Sheriff's Department investigated a fatal fire Christmas morning in Joppa. 6 family members were able to escape the home, but tragically, a 69-year-old male who was wheelchair bound was not able to escape. We can note that in that instance, a smoke alarm activated and notified the occupants of the emergency. January 9th, Office of State Fire Marshal, working in conjunction with Charles County Sheriff's Department, investigated a fire where a 94-year-old victim is believed to accidentally have ignited her clothing while working around a kitchen stove. Family members weren't able to contact her over the course of a couple days, asked the Sheriff's Department to check on the well-being of the victim, and that's the conditions that we had found. January 15th, the Office of State Fire Marshal and Queen Anne's County Sheriff's Department investigated a mobile home fire that was a double fatality. That was in the afternoon. Queen Anne and Hillsborough Volunteer Fire Department and surrounding areas responded to that fire. I've reported on this over the last year, but in January, we'd like to note that Deputy State Fire Marshal in the Western region continue to investigate a stem of intentionally set fires, maliciously tampered with sprinkler heads within the correctional facilities around the Cumberland area. So we've seen 10 of those incidents in December alone. We have had an increase over the last 12 months or so with these type of fires in the Cumberland DOC complexes, and we're also now seeing an increase of those on the Eastern Shore as well. We're working closely with the DOC on that. They are calling us immediately. We're aggressively investigating and charging the inmates with the appropriate charges as they come up. It seems that a lot of the motive is related to internal DOC issues with staffing, access to different things that the inmates used to have and are now aggrieved with. So we're working through that best we can. Interesting incident to note, January 22nd, 2025, our deputies responded to a cannabis extraction facility explosion in Stevensville. Essentially, during the extraction process of cannabis and CBD, they use volatile chemicals. Those chemicals are capable of creating explosions or fire. During the process that happened, we're fortunate that there were 3 employees that were not in the extraction booth at the time, or it may have resulted in significant injuries or a fatality. The investigation's ongoing, but it seems that it was a normal work process that had went awry and resulted in a release of the material in the explosion. January 2025, our Deputy State Fire Marshals of the Western Region, in conjunction with the Hagerstown Fire Marshal's Office, worked on a case that we made an arrest on of a 35-year-old female that was involved with making multiple threats against places of worship and the pastors. So we were able to work that case and coordinate it with the Maryland Coordinated Analysis Center to come to a conclusion of arrest with that. So we were happy with that. Tragically, January 2025, we had to support the Montgomery County Fire Rescue at the loss of Lieutenant Higgins, who died in the line of duty. We assisted with some investigative resources in Prince George's County, and then we also deployed our K-9 Sandy, which is our peer support team, to come out and work with the dog, with the family, and the fire service. So we had that. February 2025, our OSFM bomb squad hazardous underwater device team responded to the Potomac River in D.C. and supported the FBI and Metropolitan Police with recovery of debris, evidence, and other items from the river. I want to really highlight the work that our dive team did during that mission. It was incredibly challenging: cold weather, cold water, limited visibility under the river, and it's a hazardous situation with obviously jet fuel, lots of chemicals in the water, and then the entanglement risk from the debris. So that's a really outstanding job, and our office brings some unique resources with one of the only underwater drones in the state of Maryland. Plus, we have a sophisticated side scanning sonar system that we're able to support other public safety agencies like we did at the Key Bridge last year. Personnel issues, we had a retirement of our Southern Region Accelerant K-9 Zorro. K-9 Zorro supported our office over the course of 8 years, with Deputy Chief John Nelson assigned to the Southern Regional Office. Zorro is going to live retirement and enjoy life with John and his family. We still have another Accelerant K-9 team that is in place in Southern Maryland now, and we're working with the ATF to try to onboard a replacement K-9 that will be likely assigned to our Western Regional Office. As noted previously by other partners, the federal government's in a little bit of an influx right now as far as what's going to happen with funding, staffing. So we had been hopeful that we would have gotten that dog in the class in March, but that doesn't look like that's going to happen. So we're kind of counting on a fall time frame for that. Wanted to note and recognize Master Deputy Oliver Alcar for being awarded a scholarship through the Evora Leadership Development Foundation, which goes to support development in public safety administration. So congratulations to him. We had also in Southern Maryland in December, we had longtime 2 employees of our administrative services that had retired. Miss Patty Ward retired after 45 years of service with the state of Maryland and the Office of State Fire Marshal from our Southern Region Office, and Miss Mary Bear retired from our Special Operations Bomb Squad after many years as well. So want to recognize the contribution that those 2 ladies did to our office and the fire service community. And lastly, I wanted to give a shout out, as early mentioned, but Ms. Teresa Chrisman, our Director of Community Risk Reduction, was selected as the 2025 recipient of the Dr. Ann Phillips Award at the CFSI conference last week. She was recognized for her long-standing work at the Prince George's County Fire Department, the Maryland State Firefighters Association, and the Office of State Fire Marshal. So Teresa's definitely had a lot of impact throughout the state over many years, and it was nice to have her awarded. for that. And lastly, the last update that I do have is I was able to attend a 3-day conference that was hosted by the U.S. Fire Administration with all of the National Association of State Fire Marshals at the U.S. Fire Academy to discuss NERS. And it was a very informative and collaborative day over the course of 3 days. We have a very good understanding now of the new NERS system, the impact to the State Fire Marshal, potential impact to state law as it relates to collection of fire data and submission for the funding through MDEM, as well as what the impact will be to the fire service. So at this point, our plan's going to be that shortly all of the career and volunteer fire service will receive a letter from me giving a little bit of an introduction and a very brief overview of the NERS system. We're going to be asking for some basic information so that we can start getting a baseline as to where we're at statewide. And then we're hoping to host at least 1 or 2 question and answer seminars with the U.S. Fire Administration that we'll be able to invite the career and volunteer fire service to in the coming months to help lead the transition. Tentatively, we're looking at a October deployment of NERS in Maryland and a hard switch nationwide January 1. So that's kind of the timeline that we're looking at with that. But with that being said, that concludes my report. I'll be happy to take any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you for the update on the fire reports too. That's what everybody's waiting for, I think.
Yes,
Thanks.
sir. No problem. Thank you, sir.
All right. Is the State Fire Prevention Commission represented today?
Would you like me to report on the fire code?
Yes, sir. Mark's not here either, so there you go.
All right. All right. In absence of the representation from the State Fire Prevention Code, Chief Fire Protection Engineer Ken Bush and I can give any information that we know on the State Fire Prevention Code update. But we finally were able to see the Commission be able to move the fire code forward from their recommendations that they had made at the end of the summer. It went from the Commission to the Secretary of State Police. It was reviewed there. There was a lot of back and forth questions and answers about some general points in the code, why things were worded a particular way, why the proposed regulation was written certain ways. That went very positive. They moved the code from the department over to AELR, which is the Legislative Review Committee for all COMAR in the state. They reviewed it. We answered some questions over late December into January to them. We were able to satisfactorily answer all of those questions, and the proposed code was published in the last edition of the Maryland Register. When it was published, there was a revision from what was submitted from the Fire Prevention Commission during that review process and moving it forward to AELR. There was a redaction of a amicable hazard statement as it related to residential high-rise buildings throughout the state. Essentially, it kept the code in place as it was generally written by NFPA and is supported by the Fire Prevention Commission, but it removed the statement that non-sprinkler buildings were amicable hazard. What that means to enforcement is that as opposed to an automatic blanket declaration that all of those buildings are hazard and must comply with the code, an individual assessment would occur to those, which is standard operating procedure for any of our buildings across the state as it is now. Obviously, it's a concern. It's a importance to the Fire Prevention Commission and some of the members that have contacted them about that to have that amicable hazard statement in, but it's not. The Commission had a hearing this past Thursday for the public. Chief Fire Protection Engineer Bush was the only speaker who presented some of the changes and amendments to the regulation. And public comment remains open, and they're going to likely have a second hearing before adoption coming up in March or April. So the good news is that we will have a code. That new code is going to include a lot of things that aren't currently covered in Maryland right now, including food trucks, lithium-ion battery and power storage facilities, cannabis, very timely given that we just had this discussion with the explosion, but cannabis processing will all now be covered under the fire code. So it's really important. We're 2 code cycles behind. It's really important that we get this code through. we're excited to be able to see it moving forward, and hopefully by summer we'll have a new fire prevention code.
Okay, any questions? Kenny, you have any comments you'd like to add or discuss at this time?
Jason covered it very well, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay, the EMS board's up now.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple quick remarks from the EMS board. Dr. Delbridge talked about the cannabis and the use of that with providers, and we're starting to see some of that come before the board. Do want to comment that Dr. Delbridge keeps the board informed. Every meeting we review the hospital stats, the amount of time a hospital's on red or yellow, and the amount of time that ambulances are out of service waiting for beds. That is a concern both by MIMS and the EMS board. We continue to monitor that. One of the things that I wanted to talk about is the number of providers that are becoming complacent. They're not following their training. They're not following the protocols. We have a number of cases that come before us where it's very clear that it's a seasoned provider. They are not doing what they've been taught. They're not following the protocols. Many cases, they have not only received the basic training, they've renewed numerous times, plus the protocols every year. And then they kind of frown at us when we either give them a reprimand or we suspend them or require remedial training or we revoke. And there's been a number that recently, because of the actions and their failure to perform, we've had to revoke. Please tell your providers, do what you've been trained to do. Use the equipment that's provided for them. Probably one of the best examples, the ambulance has been dispatched, a fire engine is dispatched, the fire apparatus has a crew, maybe there's a paramedic, and they have ALS equipment on the engine, and it's an ALS call, but the provider doesn't take the equipment in, doesn't do any ALS skill. Or many times they don't do proper assessment of the patient. Please go back to your providers and impress upon them that we certainly look at it and we will take the appropriate action. Unless there's a question.
Any questions? Thank you. All right, the MDOT, Kevin Fox. Okay, not here. Maryland Fire Chiefs, President, Chief.
Vice President, be given a report.
Okay, thank you. Morning, John.
Hey, good morning, everybody. John Delina reporting out from Maryland Fire Chiefs. Just like to thank MSFA, in particular Kate, for all her assistance. I got sort of asked to work for the Chiefs on the grant project by our illustrious president, and it is a chore, but Kate and her staff have been great, and especially with the hold we had to put on, a lot of discussion back and forth. Some people aren't happy with the hold, but that's how it is. We want to protect, as Kate said, the finances of both organizations and don't want to put ourselves out. We do have our annual meeting coming up on, pull it up. Annual meeting coming up on April 19th at the Kent Island Volunteer Fire Company. Our golf tournament is scheduled for April 21st, and that's a big support for our Transportation Committee, working with NFFF on their weekend. And that's really about all I have. If you want to get any more information, just go to our website. A lot of information there. It's been updated, and that's all I have unless you have any questions.
Anybody got any questions? Thank you.
Thank
you. Tracy, you'll be up in 1 minute. We've got one report left, then you're up. Tim Dayton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I asked the chairman to give me an opportunity today while everyone's here. When you come out west in April to the executive committee meeting, we've kind of changed the hospitality for Friday night. President Dayton and Senator McKay have worked with the Western Maryland Scenic Railroad. So our hospitality to you all coming out that night will be a train ride on the Western Maryland Scenic Railroad. We will leave Cumberland. I think they start boarding at 6:30. We'll actually depart at 7, go to Frostburg, turn around and come back. So tickets for the train, and he has here complimentary heavy hors d'oeuvres will be provided by the association and Senator McKay. There is a flyer. It is imperative if you plan on attending that there's a QR code and a link, and I'll make sure that Doyle gets this so he can actually send it out to everyone also, so that if you don't have a smartphone or not sure like me, you can actually click on the link. But like I said, they've worked on this for a while, and there is an entire car that's just for the MSFA that evening. If you do want a meal, there's a description in there of what the 3-course meal would be and the cost per person and everything. If you want that, that is basically on your own. There will be, like I said, the hors d'oeuvres and the car, and I think there's a cash bar on the car that we have that night. So if you are planning to come out west, please, 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 if you want to take part in this, register. I guess it's like a form for that Jonathan and them can actually get an idea. It looks like it's a 3-hour trip to go from Cumberland to Frostburg. Hopefully everything will be good that evening when we take the ride. What we did do, and that is back there for the hotel accommodations, just so you realize, we used the Marriott instead of one of the hotels up in Frostburg, which would put you right down Route 36 to Midland. We actually used the Fairfield Marriott, which is right there, and it's within walking distance for a lot of us to the train station. So you don't have to worry about checking in. If you get in right before the train departs, you'll be back by 10 o'clock, and you can just walk across the parking lot or parking lots and actually check in. So the information for both of those is there. I do know the motel will be going through some renovations. At this point, they're telling us the only thing it's going to affect is the pool and I think the hot tub or jacuzzi or whatever it is. That's not, I don't think, a big issue to us as a group going out there. So just hopefully that's the only renovations that will actually be going on. But the most important part is, like I said, the form, and the secretary has those. We'll get those out to you. Please, please, please let them know ahead of time that that's what you want to do, and that's their thanks for coming to Western Maryland.
Thank you. Tracy, you're up. Thanks.
Good morning, everybody. Teresa Ann for the record. I wanted to say thank you for moving us up from tomorrow to today. Myself, Jason, Joe Walters, and Oliver are flying out tomorrow to North Carolina to a summit for NASM. So we asked today to move forward. Again, on a personal note, I would just like to say thank you for all the accolades. It's not about me. It's about everybody in this room that helps with us, that helps do fire prevention. Yes, my name's on that award, but really, truly, it's everybody that tries to do their very best and try to make that difference for the state of Maryland. Yesterday, when Jason sent me the first double fatal information, we were at our legislative meeting and it took me for a loop. And then I got the additional calls, and that was even a bigger loop, you know, thinking, like, we work really, really hard to ensure smoke alarms, everything's out there, carbon monoxide, all the training, all the aspects, all the things that we're doing, and I just don't understand why people, one, don't think they need them, or they think it will never happen to them. And these 3 calls, that makes a difference. I was trying to put something together, but my hotspot's not working very well, so I'll get it all done and put it up there, get with Kate to get the messages out there, but I just work harder to make sure this happens. So I'm gonna let my committee go first, and we'll go through our steps.
Good morning, gentlemen. The Mid-Atlantic Life Safety Conference Committee met this past Thursday. Due to circumstances beyond our control, we had to change venues, and with the venue change comes a date change. October 24th, the 66th Mid-Atlantic Life Safety Conference will be held Friday at the Doubletree Hotel in Annapolis. Early bird registration before August 1st will be $50. After August 1st, the cost will be $60. Hotel room rate is $159 a night. The committee is working diligently to determine the schedule. A call for presentations has been posted on social media. Anyone wishing to present, please respond by May 1. Outlines of presentations are due June 1. The committee is always accepting sponsors, and nominations are being accepted for the James E. Jarboe Lifetime Award and the John C. Spiker Award. Nominations and registrations may be submitted at www.midatlanticlifesafetyconference.com.
Thank you.
Good morning. I apologize for my voice and my cough. I have to thank a 7-month-old who I took care of.
You have to bring it closer to you.
Closer?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sure the mask doesn't help. My risk watch report was submitted electronically. I'll just highlight a few things, and I'm happy to answer any questions as usual. We do have our public educator life safety seminar, which will be hosted by MIFRI on the 22nd of March. The agenda is out, the registration is open, I've tested it, and it's working really well thanks to Scott Wood, who has adjusted this so that anyone can register, including our young adults and our youth who are less than 18. You no longer need a federal ID number for this specific seminar, and that's really made it much easier for our youth. I do have the save the date and the flyers, and I'll put them in the back with our report. We've already started our plans for convention. We recognize that the exhibit times will be different, so we are going to focus on Monday and Tuesday. We will set up early Sunday morning and have training available for our volunteers. As you know, we're always looking to have volunteers. And we're going to do a special recruitment working with Lisa Wilson, who's the EMS for Children's Family Advisory Network Chair, to get young adults who need service learning hours or simply like to be mascots, because having the mascots in costume down on the floors does bring the families back upstairs. We will have Ocean City support again from their PSAP to do the 911 calls, and I'm working with Johns Hopkins to redo the burn center fire prevention scald material and the poison center as soon as they get through March, and their big mailing for poison safety will be working with us to update that, and there will be a focus on the edibles that children and non-aware adults are getting into. I think the rest is fairly self-explanatory. We do have a Safe Kids meeting on March 5th. There's a virtual link because it is the middle of the day on a Wednesday, if folks would like to do that. And the only other date I want to highlight, because Kim's done the October one that's on the front page, is the Maryland Highway Safety Summit will be April 29th. They really are looking for new partners. There was appropriated and is a whole new set of funding focused on highway safety. And I know that our trauma centers are working closely together to put in for that. I'm happy to answer any questions. And again, thank you for tolerating my voice today.
Lori.
Teresa, Bridget, and I have looked over the application process for the misfire prevention contest. That will be on Sunday in June at the convention. And then applications will be due on May 1st.
Okay.
So our other part, our big report was submitted electronically. I wanted to go over some highlights. From the CO grant program that we've talked about before, we have started receiving the CO alarms. They were NOx, that's the Spanish and English featured alarm. Working on the plan and policy to get out to the commanders next week, so we'll have that ready to go. They have started to receive. Each region received 484 in this round. What's important about this is these are 10-year sealed alarms, and the alarm starts the day you actually install. The technology was brought into these alarms also, so that doesn't have like that shelf life aspect. So that was one of the big things and a big issue that Knox, First Alert, and KIDA have addressed to being able to mass produce these alarms. And they understand that shelf life can start an issue from the 9-volt aspect, because you don't know how long that good that the alarm is to the signal itself with that battery. But with these 10-year sealed alarms, these 3 specific companies have made sure that that technology is in there. So it literally starts the day you install them. And what's also unique about these alarms, and I've showed it before, but these alarms actually give you verbal command. So if there is CO present in the home or in the vessel that we'll install them in, it'll tell you exactly what to do. It won't give you a code. It won't make you figure out what 30 lbs are, or whatever it could be in there. It's telling you, get everyone out of the residence, get everybody to a safe location and call 911. It's not directing you to go look at something. It's telling you exactly what to do, which is why it's very important. We're also working on securing smoke alarms. Joe Walters did a request of information. And with the loss of Pepco and Delmarva, it has taken a huge hit for the state. So I did have a meeting with American Red Cross, the Get Alarm program, and with Michelle, who is the coordinator for that, because we found that some of the counties signed contracts with them. And then this was brought to Vision 2020's attention, to Mary Kayapi, who was working with them, because we go to these meetings, they're like, oh, work with your partners at the Red Cross, they have all these alarms. And then I use Baltimore County as an example. They signed the contract, they signed the MOU of understanding so that they know what the program was going to entail. And then the next day, they're completely told no longer. Well, we found out that the person that was in charge of that area has since been removed. They have a new person in charge. Jennifer from Artucci from Baltimore County is working with them right now, so we know that's been fixed. So again, I ask that you reach out to your American Red Cross representatives, and if you have a problem, let me know, and we'll get you to those, because Michelle is very adamant. She did not know what was going on in the state, so this is too valuable of a resource that we can't not lose. I also want to update everybody, the community risk reduction weekends are May 17th and 18th and October 18th and 19th of this year. Please get out. Please make that effort to get out where you can. Work with your community. Even if you can't go door to door, set up a table somewhere and have the ability to, educate. I always say that simple conversation might lead to a great outcome or a better outcome. We also put in our awards. You remember we have a full, single, and Silver Spring Trophy Award. Those are all due April 30th to the State Fire Marshal's Office. And remember, they are broken down by classification of your population. So please, can you get back to everybody to have that? The awards rules are actually involved in the report, so you have everything. From the national level, the NFPA has done a lot of work on the Education EMAC program. We had a meeting with them 2 weeks ago, and Kelly Ramsdell, told us that the EMAC, yes, it is very late. It was supposed to be done in 2020. They've been going through some issues there. They had their last hearing from public comment about the EMAC 2-3 weeks ago. Supposedly by May or June, the EMAC will be ready to go. And everybody to understand, the EMAC is the Educational Messages Advisory Committee that makes up this group. There's people across the country that are part of it. They're part of the education NFPA members. And they create the reference so that when you need a special message or a fast message, you can go to the EMAC, and we've shared that several times. And once it's updated, we'll put it back on the website because it was hosted there. But it's free to download, and it's right now, and I have it with me if anybody ever wanted to look at it. It is really well thought out, and then they highlight what's new in a section. So I don't know what they've done. I don't know what the changes are. We're waiting and to find out. I have a meeting with her this coming week when we're in North Carolina to address some other things, and she's going to have some of us that are state representatives there so that we can talk about what the changes are. She's awaiting also. Also, there are 74 tip sheets that the NFPA currently has. They are being updated, and I added those to the links also. So if you open up the online report, you can hit the link, or you can go to the NFPA's website and look at theirs. Vision 2020 is the strategicfire.org. They have done some new updates to the IFSTA courses. They have Modular 1, which is Community Risk Reduction. Modular 2 is Fire and Burn Prevention. Modular 3 is Preventing Home Fires. Modular 4 is Achieving Model Performance. Modular 5 is Communications Coach. And then Modular 6 is Introduction to Youth Fire Setters and Prevention and Intervention Programs. So those links are available through IFSTA. You can do that for free, and they're been redone and ready to go, so we'll relink them to the website also. And also with Young Minds Inspired, which is the education network for the 2nd and 3rd graders, we were able to get some more resources from them. They did put in a Fire Act grant, or they're waiting to, now that's on hold, but they're working with the Black Professional Firefighters Union, and they are going to help submit the program request. It's something through the I-Chiefs that they're working with them to get some more input for the education. And then that is all done by the Michigan Public Health Institute, and that was a grant through FEMA. So they're waiting to find out what's going on with that. Just waiting. It's all ready to go. Each state, they're working with Baltimore City, and our state is Baltimore City, Montgomery County, the District of Columbia is considered for us, and then I think Baltimore City and County are supposed to be a part of it. So Mary Kay is supposed to tell us who's all involved in that, so that some resources come into the state as well. The United States Fire Administration, they are still in limbo on some of their programs. We was told the other day that the printing part of that is on hold, so they're not doing any changes, and what's on the website is available to be downloaded. And then, like Keith earlier, for there's 2 new awareness programs for the WUI, which is the wildland urban interface aspect of firefighting for wildland. The biggest thing for us is educating our communities on how to prevent and protect our resources. And yes, we don't have the magnitude of what we're seeing, but it was close enough to New Jersey. It's been here, it's been around. We've seen the smoke from the western area. But the problem is, I think people become complacent, and they think, oh, well, I'll just leave the leaves in my yard, it's okay, they'll just disintegrate. I don't take them up. The brush, you know, they're not cleaning the dead brush away. And that's some of the things that they've brought into this. So it's not just about the firefighting aspect of wildland, it's pretty much about mitigating your surroundings to ensure that you are not going to have a problem. So we've offered those two in there. They asked us to send that around. And then it's a big push right now because of what's happened in California. I don't know the particulars of that. I do know that the Hawaii fires report has been released by FSRI. I have not looked at that yet. Jennifer Williams was going to send that out to us. But that's supposed to have some educational messages. We never know what could happen here. And we have to be as much as ready and proactive as much as possible. I was watching a video the other night, and people were complaining that the fire department was cutting down trees next to a house. They're like, why are you taking the time to cut down the spruce trees next to the house? Well, they were so close, the fire was actually getting into the trees, and they were afraid that the tree was going to catch the next house on fire. So they were trying to be proactive. You know, that's the type of things that some of the places around the nation are actually trying to do, trying to figure out, you know, the best way to tackle something. So that's some of the things I've seen. And then FSRI, which is the Fire Safety Research Institute, Jennifer did send us their new logo. About a year ago, they told us that their logo was changing. It used to be a really nice logo with the fire department seal, and it was really engaged. You know, a lot of people had it. It's actually on our trailer, so we have to take that off, which we have to deal with the other stuff too. But it now is going to reline back to the Underwriters Laboratory aspect, so it's just the UL. And then they'll still have the FSRI part of it, but that's all changing. And then that logo's been linked to you all as well. And then Carbon Monoxide Awareness Association, sit on 2 of those programs with them for the firefighter aspect, the training. John Tippett, before he left the foundation, he was in charge of us, and I guess we're waiting to find out who the next person is for that position. I think they've picked that person, but I don't know who they have. That's where there's some programs coming to the fire service, and that'll be able to help everybody understand carbon monoxide, and then going in and having that aspect of, you know, what's going on, what should we be doing. And the other program that we worked with on them is actually tagged with the HVAC, the union that teaches home heating and air conditioning. Because, you know, they go on these service calls, and they're actually, their associations are actually buying them monitors. Just like, you know, some of the fire service has monitors on the radio straps, they're gonna do that for their people too. So that'll go on their work bag, and so if they go into a home and this go off, then they know that they have the educational tool and working with them. There's 2 main big companies, or I guess unions, that are their teachers to ensure that they have what they need. And I guess the educational component, like our MIFRI, would be to them, for them. The trade school aspect, and they're really, really behind this. They're finding the money to support this. And then, so every HVAC tech out there in the country will have these monitors. It's just a simple monitor. It goes on the bag. Actually, Joe Walters showed me one the other day. He got into his vehicle, and his alarm actually went off. I'm like, well, I think you need to take your truck to the shop. So, but who knows, was it the cold or was it going on? But that just shows you, and the thing is that what's good about these is they're lower frequency than a regular CO alarm. So technology is changing a lot for us. We see that coming. The biggest thing now is we know that the smoke alarms that are being purchased out in the public are on the 8th edition, but I was told by Kidda and First Alert, they're both going ahead of it to the 9th and 10th edition. We had a discussion with Teresa Neal, who has a group of us on Mondays of every month, and we talked about this and like what's the changes coming. So our next meeting, they're supposed to have some people from the research laboratories explain how these changes are happening. I know that the 8th edition brings both the photoelectric and the ionization one together in this, where actually you'll be able to put a smoke alarm in the kitchen. Now, I'm still a little leery on that problem because I don't know how good that should be. So we really think we're going to just say a little bit closer, but not as close as what they want. Because some of the research shows that they're not going off fast enough. So I just feel like I think we should just stay with our messaging. You know, every level inside the home, in the sleeping area, that's what we should stand for. I think it would work for some of these apartment buildings because some of the alarms are so close to the kitchen. That's probably a good thing, but a lot of those alarms are hardwired. So until that technology's out there too, I do see some concerns. I told Kenny Bush this. My biggest concern is the 9-volt smoke alarm aspect, that backup battery. These newer alarms are not going to be able to use these alarms. They're going to work too much and they're going to drain faster. So I see a problem coming that we might have as a state. I don't want to get in the hardwired job, but some of those alarms, you're going to start seeing where the 9 volts are going, and the residents are going to have to install these sealed units, and an electrician's going to be involved in some of these alarms. Some will piggyback in without a problem, and then the other ones, they'll actually have to do that. But that could be a code change to us. I don't know yet until this comes about and they tell us. But Steve Kerber, who's the director of FSRI, he told me it's going to happen, and the tests show that these 9-volt alkaline batteries are not going to work very well. They're going to drain faster, and just be prepared. And I see it, but I don't have a hardwired alarm at my house, so I don't know how it works. But I mean, I just feel like maybe the best thing to do is, with all the money out there, I mean, there's a lot. These alarms are starting to come down in price, which is a big thing because they were pretty expensive when they first got designed. So we're starting to see them coming down to the normal price because, you know, you used to be able to buy a 9-volt alarm for like $4. And that got a lot of people having it. But now they're up to $30 some odd. And if you have a combination, that's almost $60. So that's our report. If you have any questions, I'll be in the back. But we just want to make sure that, you know, we're out here for you guys.
Thank you. Any questions? Oh, buddy.
Teresa, thank you and your committee for all your work. But young lady, you were recognized for your work.
No, it's everybody. It's everybody.
You've done an outstanding job, and we're very, very appreciative that you are doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks. That's all you guys.
Thank you. I think we have a 50-50 drawing from Ridge, if they're ready, if anybody from Ridge is here. They wanted to draw it before lunchtime. And Sandy's still outside with the vice president, so I don't know what she's doing on her 50-50. Oh, no, mine's got this on the back of it. This one's got, yeah, you should be good. You should be good, because this is the
All righty. The winner gets $158.
We're doing,
Okay.
we've got two different ones going on.
And I want to thank you for your donation. The number is 4138621. 4138621.
They're both for red, but they got different numbers on them. Somebody's got a winner back there. Ridge, you're up now. Go ahead.
Okay, 50-50, $172 to the winner, 957-3908.
Damn, I was close on that one. But close don't count.
Thank you.
God damn.
Is that you?
Does he got by Robin's dinner, or Robin got by ice cream?
Congratulations, but he got to get home, I guess.
All right, we're ready for a chaplain. And then we're going to have a few-minute break while they're putting lunch out.
Let us pray. Oh, gracious God,
Bless this food we're about to receive, nourish our bodies, and let us spend fellowship with each other. As we partake in this afternoon meetings, please give us the strength to continue on with the mission. And we pray these in your name. Amen.
I'm going to throw your trash in there, I'll throw it away. We're adjourned until 1 hour after lunch, so it'll be close to 1 o'clock. Thank you.